What's going on, Coach Hunter here, and in this video we're talking about the huge problem with calorie counting and what it means for you in regards to your weight loss, your weight gain, and all of your health and fitness goals. And I know this may come as a surprise to you that I'm bringing calorie counting up as a problem. If you've been following my 30-day Eat Dairy Queen challenge, you may have noticed that I am tracking every single calorie that goes into my mouth.
Want some?
Yes.
Too bad, man.
So me saying that there is a problem with calorie counting might seem a little hypocritical. But the truth is, calorie counting is deceiving and can be discouraging if you don't set yourself up with the right mindset and the right expectations. So we're gonna dive into what mindset you need to have, what expectations you need to have, and all of the problems and mistakes that I see people making when they first start calorie counting, so that when you start calorie counting, or if you start again, you can avoid them. You can go in ready to go and make sure that you do make progress in your health goals in the long run. So if you've ever counted calories before, you've probably used an app called MyFitnessPal or something similar to that, something that you can barcode scan your food, or there's a database of food and you can type in how much you're eating and it will tell you, all right, you ate this many calories. And when you sign up for these applications on your phone, often what they do is they'll ask you for some information. They'll ask you for your height, for your weight, they'll ask you for what your goal is, they'll ask you about your activity level, and after you do that, it's going to spit out a number at you that's telling you this is how many calories that you have to eat in order to reach your goal. And some of these apps, I know MyFitnessPal does this, it will spit out that calorie number and it will say, if you eat this amount of calories for the next amount of weeks or the X amount of days, that you will be this weight. And at first glance, this seems super motivating. It gives you clarity on, hey, all I need to do is this and I'll get to my goal. But unfortunately, the truth is this is actually very deceiving. No, I'm not saying these apps are trying to deceive you on purpose. I think it's actually a great mechanism. It's a great way to motivate you, right? And if you get motivated and get it started, then hopefully you will get some great progress. But often these estimations and these predictions are not true, because the amount of calories that it's prescribing you is just an estimation. And there is no system out there right now that can tell you exactly how many calories you need to eat to lose weight, to gain weight, to maintain. There's nothing out there right now. There's so many different variables like your exercise that can go into this. You can have a different gene turned on when you're born that some other people might not, that can change how many calories you burn every day by 100. There's just a lot of crazy factors that go into this. So the only way for you to know exactly how many calories that you need to lose weight or gain weight or maintain weight is to run a science experiment on yourself. You need to know how many calories that you're eating over a period of time. You need to know how many calories you're burning during your exercise. And then finally, you need to know what your results are based off of those two things. So if you run the science experiment on yourself and you're collecting all this data, what is the purpose of it? The purpose of it is because if you can find out a certain amount of calories gives you X result, and a certain amount of exercise with those calories gives you X result, you can then start to build an equation and know, hey, if I manipulate this a little bit, if I change the numbers, if I change the exercise, or if I change my calories, okay, then I can change my result. And it's going to be so individual from person to person. The only way to get it for you is to run a test, and I'm going to show you how to run that test right now. But what does this mean for your results? It takes time to do this science experiment. And this is what I tell my clients. I say you need to go into counting calories with the expectation that in your first month, in your first 4 weeks, you are not going to see any progress. Now, when I say progress, I'm saying don't expect to lose weight, don't expect to gain weight, maybe you'll maintain. Now, obviously those things can happen. So the progress that you will see might not be on the scale, but it will be in your knowledge, it will be in your awareness. And as you improve those things, that can lead to weight loss or weight gain later down the road. So even though it may take a little bit longer on the front end, it may take you a month to build some of these skills, build awareness around your body. Once you figure this out, once you get the cheat codes, and I'll talk more about that in a bit, what the cheat codes means, you're gonna be able to change your body in whatever way you want moving forward. But before we move on and talk about the cheat codes, let me know down in the comments, have you ever tried tracking before or using an app like MyFitnessPal? Let me know. So the first step to finding the cheat codes for your body so that you can make the changes that you want is you want to weigh yourself every single day. And the reason weigh yourself every single day for 28 days is because there are lots of fluctuations day to day. Our water levels change, and we definitely want to do this for a 4-week period if you're a woman because of your menstrual cycle, and that will highly impact the amount of fluctuations that you have in your weight. But by doing this, what you're going to see and be able to do is calculate weekly averages of your weight. So when I say that, it would be weighing yourself Monday through Sunday, adding up the total weights, and then dividing it by 7. That's gonna take your average weight, and you're gonna be able to compare them from week to week. So if you took your average weight for week 1 and then your average weight for week 2, that's gonna be a much better representation of the way your weight is changing versus going from day 1 to day 2. So you're gonna weigh yourself for 28 days or 4 weeks straight. The second thing you're gonna do is in MyFitnessPal or another tracking app, you're going to count your calories as accurate as possible by using a scale, weighing all the food, and then punching it in. And the goal with this is we wanna figure out, all right, how many calories are you eating on average over the 28-day period? Because when we know that, we'll be able to see, okay, we've taken our weight and we know what our average weight change has been, and now we know what our average calories was to get that result. The next step for you is to look at, hey, what changes did you see, right? So if you lost weight, then you were in a calorie deficit. That means that you are eating less calories than your body is burning each day. If you maintain weight, if your weight stays pretty much the same, that means the calories you were eating will make you maintain weight. And then of course, if you gain weight and you look at your calories that you've eaten, that means that you are in a surplus. You're eating more calories than your body needs to maintain. Now, an important number for you to know is that 1 pound of fat equals 3,500 calories. And let's say over the course of the 28 days, you lost a total of 4 pounds. Well, what this would mean is that 4 pounds times 3,500 calories, that's gonna come to 14,000 calories that you were in a deficit over the course of the 4 weeks. And that also means that that's 500 calories a day in a deficit that you were at. So you would say, okay, well, if it's 500 calories as a deficit, then my maintenance calories must be 500 calories more. The same goes if you gained weight. So if you gain a couple pounds, let's say you gain 2 pounds over the course of that 28-day period, that means that you were in a surplus of approximately 7,000 calories. Hey, some of that could be muscle, of course, if you're strength training, but we're just gonna say for this topic here, we're talking about fat gain. 2 pounds over the course of 4 weeks, that means that you were in a surplus on average of 250 calories a day. So what you would do is you would subtract 250 calories and that would get you to your maintenance calorie. Once you figure out those maintenance calories, now you can say, all right, at what pace do I want to gain weight? At what pace do I want to lose weight? And then you can say, all right, well, I know that 3,500 calories is 1 pound, so I can either add that or lose that each week, and you just have to change your daily calorie intake. One thing that I left out that's extremely important, I should have brought it up earlier, was that you need to keep track of all the exercise you do in this period. So ideally at the end of the 28 days, you could say, all right, well, I had some extra walking. I did an extra 30 miles this month of walking, and I did a total of 5 workouts at the gym. So you know that as long as you're hitting about 30 extra miles every month, and I'm hitting 5 strength workouts at the gym, and I'm eating these calories, this is the result I can expect. Because if you remove the exercise or you add more, that's going to affect the calorie burn. So this gives you the proper expectations. This gives you the way to find the cheat codes to your body so that you can manipulate your weight in any way you want. But it does take time. It does take about a month to figure what those are, and you just have to set that proper expectation for yourself. If you're working on this, look at progress as, hey, I'm getting better. I'm learning how to track more accurately. I'm building a habit of weighing myself every day. You're getting consistent. These learning tools will lead you to the success you want. It just takes patience. And by the end of this 30 days, you'll have built up so much momentum and so much positivity that you can stick to something that you're gonna feel awesome and you're gonna be successful moving forward. So now you can probably see the problems in counting calories. You can see how things can go really wrong. And again, maybe you've shared those, but I hope this gave you some clarity. I hope this gives you a positive mindset moving forward. And if counting calories sounds like something you'd want to do, you know, another issue that we can run into is tracking calories at restaurants. It's not always easy. Sometimes you have to estimate it. So what I did was I created this video right here. It shows me going to an actual restaurant and tracking the food. I think it'll be really helpful for you. Click that. It's also going to feed my 2 tuxedo cats. Look, they're hangry, and you won't like them when they're hangry.